Have you ever looked at your life and wondered, why do I feel so old inside? Why do I feel like I've lived this journey before? Like I've walked through these lessons, loved these souls, and cried these same tears many, many times. If that question has ever whispered through your heart, you might be closer to liberation than you think. Because according to Paramhansa Yogananda, not every soul returns again and again. Some are on their final journey through this world. And today, we'll explore 5 divine signs you are living your last life. But before we begin, take a deep breath. Allow your soul to be still. And if you're drawn to this kind of truth, the inner path of awakening and divine love, make sure you subscribe to Inner Divine, your space for peace, wisdom, and remembrance. Now, let's begin. Sign 1, the deep weariness of the world. You wake up one morning, and everything feels strangely familiar. You go through your day. The same patterns, the same emotions. And somewhere deep inside, something sighs. You've played this game too many times. The noise of the world, the rush, the endless proving. It all starts to lose its color. The success that once thrilled you now feels hollow. The attention that once fed you now feels unnecessary. You no longer crave recognition. You crave rest. Not the rest of sleep, but the rest of understanding. You start yearning for less. Less chaos. Less drama. Less pretending. You want peace more than pleasure. Truth more than comfort. Silence more than applause. And though the world may call it sadness, it is not depression. It is awakening. Yogananda once said, when the soul grows tired of the play of delusion, it begins to seek the stage manager, God Himself. That sacred weariness you feel, it's not weakness. It's divine memory. Your soul is beginning to remember that it did not come here merely to chase, to compete, to consume. It came to realize. You start to look at life differently. You see beauty even in stillness. You find meaning in quiet moments. You smile more softly. You speak more gently. Because deep down, you know the truth. Nothing outside can fill the inside anymore. In your last life, you begin to feel like a visitor in this world. You live, you love, you laugh. But you no longer cling. You crave something timeless. Something real. Something eternal. And that craving itself is the first divine sign that your soul is ready to go home. Sign 2, the fading desire for material possession. In the final stages of your soul's journey, something subtle yet profound begins to happen. The hunger to own starts to fade. You may still live beautifully. Enjoy the warmth of a home, the taste of good food, or the gentle luxury of comfort. But deep inside, you no longer cling to any of it. You begin to see everything as borrowed. The house you live in, the clothes you wear, even the body you inhabit. All of it temporary. All of it on loan from the universe. Yogananda once said, attachment is the chain that binds the soul to earth. And when your soul nears liberation, those chains begin to dissolve quietly, like mist in sunlight. Money, fame, possessions. You've chased them in lifetimes before. You've tasted their sweetness and their emptiness. Now you see through them. You realize that nothing material can follow you beyond the veil. Only your consciousness travels onward. Only love, service, and awareness remain. So you start giving more freely. Not to be seen, but to feel the silent joy of letting go. Each act of generosity polishes the mirror of your soul. And as it becomes clearer, it reflects only one thing, God Himself. Detachment no longer makes you distant. It makes you boundless. For when nothing owns you, you finally belong to everything. Sign 3, the irresistible pull toward God or truth. In earlier lives, the soul is distracted by adventure, love, fame, or pain. But in the last life, nothing can distract you anymore. You begin to long, not for someone, but for something. Something infinite. Something eternal. You want to meditate. You want silence. You want to feel the divine in your breath, in your heartbeat, in your every thought. This is not escapism. It's remembrance. Yogananda called this longing divine homesickness. He said, when the soul begins to remember the bliss of spirit, no earthly joy can satisfy it again. You might find yourself crying during prayer. You might feel goosebumps while meditating. You might even feel presence. A warmth around you. A silent companion that has always been there. That's not imagination. That's grace. When this pull becomes strong enough, you will begin to shape your entire life around it. Your schedule, your relationships, your choices. Because nothing else feels real anymore. And that is one of the strongest signs. Sign 4, the transformation from ego to service. In your earlier lifetimes, you wanted to be recognized. You wanted the world to see your worth. But in your last life, you no longer want to shine. You want to serve. Something shifts quietly inside you. You begin to care. Not for fame, but for others' healing. You listen more. You forgive easily. You feel compassion even for those who hurt you. Yogananda said, when you begin to see all beings as your own self, the end of karma is near. In your final life, love becomes your nature. You don't have to try to be kind. You are kindness itself. You don't do good deeds to earn merit. You do them because you can't not. It's spontaneous, effortless, divine. Even when people misunderstand you, you smile. Even when you lose, you bless. Because you know, everything is the play of God. And your only role now is love. This desire to serve, this quiet disappearance of ego, is one of the most beautiful signs that the soul is completing its journey. Sign 5, peace with death and the unknown. Death no longer frightens you. It feels like a gentle return. You begin to feel the rhythm of impermanence, the rising and falling of everything. And it doesn't disturb you. You stop asking, why is this ending? And start saying, thank you for letting me experience this. You begin to trust the unseen. You feel a quiet readiness, as if your soul knows that its work here is almost done. Yogananda said, the wise man dies daily, by letting go of desires, of fears, of attachments, until there is nothing left to die. That's liberation. To live in such surrender, that even death itself bows before you. You begin to see it clearly now, that this body is just a temporary garment, a robe your soul wears for a little while, to play its part upon the stage of time. And when the fabric grows old, you do not cling. You simply lay it aside and continue your journey, clothed in light. This calm, unshakable acceptance, this quiet readiness to release, is the final sign. The soul has remembered its eternal nature. So, if you feel weary of the noise of the world, if your heart craves silence more than excitement, if you no longer chase possessions or power, if your love has grown unconditional and vast, and if the thought of death no longer frightens you, then, beloved soul, you may be living your last life. But remember this: the goal is not to escape the world, but to awaken within it. To walk through the marketplace and still feel the temple within your chest. To live among people and still remember God. To face chaos and remain centered in peace. To see every face as his face. To see every breath as his gift. As Paramhansa Yogananda said, the final freedom comes not when we die, but when we stop forgetting who we are. So live beautifully. Love deeply. Forgive easily. Meditate sincerely. And let your life itself become your prayer. Because maybe, just maybe, this is the lifetime where you finally go home. If this message touched your heart, if something within you whispered, "Yes, I remember this," then you are part of the inner divine family. Subscribe now, and let's walk this sacred path together. Step by step, breath by breath, soul to soul. Each video on this channel is a mirror for your spirit. A reminder that you are not alone. That somewhere beyond all fear and time, your spirit waits, free, radiant, and eternal. Until we meet again. Breathe deeply. Be kind. Be still. And remember, you are not the body. You are not the mind. You are the soul. And the soul never dies.